Welcome. I have no planned structure for this, but daylight's a wasting, so uh, let's get into it. I like there's some YouTubers I like, so kind of copied off that right there. Uh, so first thing, you can use your, it's about creating leverage, right? You know how lever works? Like that. Like I got much more force at the tip end, like going like that. So it's kind of like the first thing I did is go like that. You could actually get a really good quick strike by using your back as a sort of lever. And another way, you could use your shoulder as a sort of lever, just like this. And you sort of pop your shoulder up. See that? That's my shoulder doing it. And actually, it's funny because describing things that come inherently natural is kind of difficult. But even when I do this, there's a bit of a hip twist, and just like that. All right. And like I said, no, there's no structure or script for this, so it's just as I come up with it. Another thing you might want to do when you're practicing, I haven't really warmed up or anything. Just trying to do some videos. But you want to practice, right, with your hands like this, make sure you also practice with your hands on the other side. You have to do both, right? And from what I understand of what that samurai guy said, is that there's a difference between a slash and a cut. Now, how I interpret that is if you have perfect control, it's a cut. But if it's like haphazard, it's a slash. And you're practicing. Now this is it still running? Yeah. This is a heavier pipe. We'll also get into that. Let's move into that too. It's harder to control a heavier pipe. So if I come down with all my strength, I'm still jerking off to the side. That did not sound right. But it's still jerking to the side. I'm not gonna change up the whole video just because yeah, that was just awkward. But okay, whatever. Let's move on. Here is a different pipe. And it's got this curved end. And I'm not gonna live that down, man. Someone's gonna clip that shit. I fucking know it. All right, so here I have a. I keep forgetting. I'm used to being in the other room where there's a high ceiling. So you also gotta keep in mind the ceiling and are you working in a tight space, that sort of thing. But this is much easier. See, stops perfectly where I want it. So that's what makes it more of a cut, more controlled. That's kind of what you want to go for. What else? Maybe here's another thing too. Pipes everywhere. It is the most common weapon you can possibly find. You're just walking down the street, boom, pipe. All right, and they're very easy, inconspicuous. You think you got some trouble at a certain area around a certain alley, stash a pipe there. Stash a pipe behind a dumpster. It's the best weapon. All right. Uh, so let's go with. All right, so here's more of a medium. All right, it's not as thick. It's actually very light. I actually bent to the list slightly. All right. It's a lot easier to control. Keep hitting that fucking ceiling. And it ain't gonna have quite as much force, and it's faster. And you also want to keep in mind you got your stabs too. You can actually transition. One of the good things about as far as dueling and swords versus maces and pipes, all that, there's no cutting edge, right? So it's not you don't have to have it perfectly aligned. You just gotta make sure you got your follow through, and you gotta make sure you have a stable grip. But you can change your grip up and come at from different angles really quick. Sorry, my thing's slipping, but I really did a lot of this stuff. Some of the stuff I'm doing like this really isn't. That's good for this is good for like fucking around practice, but you really don't want to do this sort of thing too much because it's that's not very firm or whatever. But you can like have very solid grip changes. It's a little different because I'm trying to I'm focused on the camera, and I'm not focused. Usually, I have a thing I'm attacking or hitting, and I can be focused on that instead of trying to like look at the camera and look at what I'm doing. Uh, before my flow of thoughts gets, let's just move on to the next thing before my flow of thoughts gets switched up, which is if you train with the pipe, you train in my art of Pipefoodo, as I'm calling it. You'll get good with the variety of improvised implements to include, or just stuff you can find, like a pitchfork. Now, this thing's heavy, right? But if you get good at swinging it, all right, so you can just go zombie apocalypse, whatever. You just bust it. You bust into some garage, look around, boom, you got weapons all over the place. If you got a crew with you and they know Pipefoodo, you're unstoppable against the zombies. And some of the things still apply. Like you still use your shoulder to throw a little extra weight into it. All right. What else we got here? Now, you got something like this, or this could be a wooden implement. Say it's a wooden stick or something. Now, this is thin. It's kind of flimsy, but it's still effective. So, but the way you want to do this, though, is when you think about it, as you're attacking with it, this attacks so hard that the damn thing breaks. You just smash the fucking thing, right? You think it's a throw. This is more of a throwaway weapon. This is more of like a smash as hard as you can, and then you switch to something else, right? So, say I got this, right? Smash as hard as I can. Bam! They come up with this. But so you got that range there, and then you come up with and if you're good with Pipefoodo, you also be good with the short pipes, right? And you can also kind of do some grips on this too, right? That's the good thing about pipes is you can switch up the grip. It's very experimental. It's very improv. It's very very unpredictable. All the things you can do. And this will actually be a different video too. I'm going to tell you about how I got this, which is it's from a beer keg. All right, my friend he found a beer keg and he extracted the beer, but that involved pulling this thing out, and I'm like what? Holy shit! Because this thing is this is solid. Like and just beer kegs are all over the place. So zombie apocalypse, definitely go with that. I mean, I just kind of fuck around when I'm practicing and stuff. Shit. Let me show you something. We'll go in the other room here. And where's my flashlight? I'm using it as a flashlight. There's a whole bunch of stuff. It's just I can only remember so much, and I kind of just do this like as a flow thing. But let's see. Let's get this. You can set something up like this, which is it's just a sheet, man. It's just a sheet, and it's hung from the roof, and this is really great to practice on, to hit and whatnot. Uh, and a lot of the techniques will translate over if you want to like practice with swords and shit. This is kind of cool. Let me take this in the other room. I'm running out of light, man. I just got to kind of put these out here. I'll probably do a better video in the future, but I don't know when that'll be. I'm just, I gotta get as much done as I can while I can. So this is just a basics, right? A basic primer. And here's a nice little improvised weapon right here. It's just a ruler, man. It's just a ruler, meter stick. But it might not be a sharp edge, but I wouldn't want to get hit by it. And I got just a rag wrapped around it. And it's funny. They're actually you do understand some of the differences. Like it's a lot faster. I'm hitting shit around me. But yeah, it's a lot faster, whatnot. I'm just trying to get to the basics of, right? And then you kind of do like practice edge alignment and all that sort of stuff. And you do get a feel for like what the difference is. So if somebody comes at you with something fast and light, and you got something heavy and slow, you kind of got an idea of, okay, I know what the capabilities are because I practice with it, or vice versa. If you got this and someone's got a big heavy pipe, well, you're like, ah, fuck, you know. I mean, kind of, I might try to get in there close and just, and then maybe go to elbows and stuff at that point, because nah, that's not the one. You definitely ain't stopping this with this. But I wouldn't want to get hit by either. Let's see. Now this was featured in this was featured in an earlier video. Which another great thing about pipe weapons, man. I wish someone didn't steal my bat chucks. But you could take 2 bats and you could tie them together with some rope, and that right there is a pretty awesome combo. And I don't have them with me. I really miss my bats, my baseball bats, my aluminum baseball bats. And let's see. Let me grab something. All right. So here's another thing. You might have something that's weirdly fucking shaped, right? But the big idea behind this martial arts style is that you can use whatever you can find. So even if it's kind of like off balance and like this, you still practice, you still find them, you still practice with them. That way, you're still prepared. Whatever you might find, you don't want stuff to be perfectly balanced. You want the unbalanced, the asymmetrical of it actually to add to the unpredictability of it. Right? And don't forget about throwing. Throwing is an amazing tool, especially when it comes to the smaller blunt. You know, they're not very good up close, but 20 feet away, and since it's a blunt object, it doesn't require the same, you know, finesse as I actually forgot about one of my stash little weapons here. That's really fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. It's like something straight out of fucking Fallout. And I actually have a whole bunch of like metal pipes. I got the best ones. That, and you can stash these all over the place. I just had this stash behind a filing cabinet, so they're very very easy to be prepared with wherever you might find yourself. And I'll be back in the other spot with the light here in a minute. And if you stuck around the end, well, yeah, this thing's fucking cool. This actually gets rid of some of my angst for the day. I just can't believe I forgot about this one. It's fucking cool. All right, I gotta set the camera back up. This fucking baby. All right, it's literally a fucking socket on the end of a pipe. But it's got some fucking weight. It's got this heavy end weight. Like, right? And when you switch up, now you got a fast strike, and the weight still helps with the speed. So, yeah. I'll do stuff like this too. See, like this is just, I'll be practicing and I'll be walking. And you practice quick hand switch up, right? Really subtle. You don't know what side I'm gonna come from. Like, also don't forget to go for the knees. You know, that could be like a quick blow of the knee. Bam! And I'll do stuff like I'll practice like I'm walking. I'll practice walking attacks. I'll run, attack, all that sort of stuff. But I got limited camera, all that bullshit to show. I think all sorts of other weapons I can show. I mean, I got my purse here. That's like a fucking. I can put a brick. Put a brick in this thing, right? Because this is nice and solid. I don't have anything heavy in there now, but yeah, this with the brick in it, do not want to fuck with this. And I can, oh yeah, and with the chain weapons, the long chain weapons, I can still use the wraparound. Like use your body as a fulcrum. Your whole body it turns into a fulcrum. So, 15 minutes, 16 minutes. Okay, it's hard to kind of get myself together to put these out there, but fucking got to. And hopefully, I'll find that interesting, so on and so forth. Blah blah blah. Oh, this is my stand that I use to stand the thing up. So these are also a good part of Pipefoodo, and you can you practice with all sorts of things. It's a lot of the essence is to be able to improvise and to use whatever you find around you. That's part of the benefit of uh, bludgeoning damage versus cutting or slashing. It's much more practical, whatnot. You learn faster, all that sort of shit. So I should wrap it up. I'm gonna come up with the next video. I don't fucking know. I want to put out like a bunch of videos today, so I'm just coming up with this shit and then just throwing it out there. Hope you enjoy. Blah blah blah. I'll see you. Blah blah blah.